Hey guys, what's going on? It's Coach Will. In today's video, I want to show you a simple pricing switch that you can do with your monthly recurring membership that will net you an extra 8% annually in revenue without actually changing your recurring rate of membership, right? So what we're talking about here is adjusting our billing cycle at your gym from a monthly, which can be anywhere between 28 and 31 days on a given calendar month, to a 28-day billing cycle, right? A 4-week billing cycle. This is a common conversation we have in the Big Little Gyms Pro group with active clients. We have over 550 active clients inside the program, and this is a very common switch or tactic, you could call it, that a lot of gyms will adjust to as a way to generate additional revenue. And a lot of people actually prefer going this route versus just raising rates, right? If you just raise your rates, it's a lot more of a shock to your member base than it is to just make this small adjustment, because really, you're only adjusting the billing cycle by a couple of days, but by doing this, you effectively add on an entire extra billing cycle per year, right? And I'll do the math on that and show you how that works out. The cool thing is in this video, if you stay to the end, I'm going to give you my raising your price letter, the email that you can send to your clients that we've used and we've had hundreds of gyms use to send to your members when you do this. That's worded properly so they can understand why you're making the switch. And when we've done it this way, we found that it goes over without a hitch. It's generally not an issue. I think most gyms will report maybe having one or two people voice some concern out of hundreds and hundreds of members, but generally not even that, right? Usually it goes over just fine. And that's one thing I would start this video by saying, is that when it comes to raising your prices, we are often more concerned about it than it's actually going to be an issue in reality, right? We've seen hundreds of gyms raise their prices, pretty large margins too. We've seen the average CrossFit gym that for example, we work with a lot of CrossFit gyms, martial arts studios, kickboxing gyms, functional fitness gyms, boot camp gyms. And on average, a lot of these gyms are they're just underpriced. They'll be $100 a month, $135 a month, $150 a month. Even in some markets, $200 a month will be low. And a lot of them know this, right? And they know this because they're not making enough money, and their gym is filling up with people that are not paying enough, right? So, which is something you want to think about when you grow your business, is a lot of times people make the mistake when they start their business of pricing the business price too low, right? Because it comes from a place of insecurity of well, I'm new, I need to earn those higher prices before I ask them. So they sell people early on in their business into low prices. Oftentimes they'll promise them a lifetime membership rate too, which is one of the biggest mistakes you can make, because you really just don't need to do it. To be honest with you, it's honestly selling from weakness. And in my career of selling things, which I've sold all the expensive things you can think of, from cars to high ticket online sales, breaking your own beliefs around price and how people perceive your value is one of the best things you can do for yourself as a business owner. Is get on the other side of thinking that people shop for things based on price alone, are only going to do business with you if you are the cheapest. And that's often the trap a lot of business owners get stuck in, is they think, in order to lure people over, I need to lower my prices. So they'll just lower their prices until they get some people to respond, and they get that a couple people buying, and then they think that this is the sweet spot, right? When in reality, if you just got better at creating value and then demonstrating that value in where people find your stuff, you're going to attract a higher quality of customer that not only is going to opt in and become a lead, but they're also going to want to spend. They're also going to be okay with spending more money with you. For most people that make over the the average middle class threshold of income, when it comes to spending money on things like a group fitness membership, the difference of $30 to $40 a month, is not going to sway them, right? If they're already spending $150 a month or $200 a month on a group fitness membership, they're not doing it because it's the cheapest option, right? If they wanted the cheapest option, they would go to a big box gym where it's $29 a month or $39 a month or $49 a month. They would not be standing in front of you looking for a higher quality service that involves coaching, guidance, programming, structure, group classes, community, all these things. And if you could build out in your content in the way that you display your value to people, if they could draw that out of when they consume content and see you and meet you and what other people say about you, and they see really good social proof, and you have really, really good lead generation mechanisms in your business, you're going to have no trouble signing 10, 15, 20 new members a month at premium prices, because what you're selling, if you're selling any type of product that involves any type of coaching, is you're selling a premium product, right? And we've seen businesses increase their rates 50%, even double their rates, and not see a single person bat an eye at the price, and just kind of be okay with it, right? Because people know your value, right? So that's the first thing I want to say about breaking the belief around pricing and why it's important to get on the other side of this. And we see gym owners get very timid about this all the time because they think that the sky is going to fall when they deliver this information. So I'll tell you, it's about how you do it. If you go and just raise your prices and do it in a place where it's very public and everybody can see it, you're going to create problems for yourself. If you do it in a way that's much more one-to-one in how you deliver the information, which I'll tell you how to do that in this video at the end, you're going to not really have any issues. Because like the only time it becomes an issue is if like one person says something and it gives other people the permission to pile on. But one-on-one in most conversations, people are going to understand why you're doing what you're going to do. And the reason why it's important to think about raising your prices is because we're in an inflationary market, right? Like year over year for the last 4 years now, inflation's been 7, 8, 9, 10, 15% in some markets. We've seen rents go up for gyms 30, 40% in a lot of markets. We've seen what it costs to hire somebody and payroll costs and what people are expecting to be paid go up. Insurance costs goes up. Cost of doing business goes up in business. It's a part of doing business, right? Like prices the cost of business for you don't stay the same. So the cost of your customer to do business with you cannot stay the same as well. And people understand that, to be honest with you. Like people know that we're in an inflationary market, an inflationary era. And what's interesting about that is actually it's an easier time than ever to ask for a price raise. It's very interesting. Back when I started my first gym in 2010, we were coming out of a recession. It was the 2008 recession had hit. And back then it was a very deflationary period. They kept inflation almost like nominal or nothing for like 5 or 6 years after the recession to kind of let people recover. And things were very, very cheap. Like rents in most markets were cheap. I know this because I own some real estate and we did rentals, and like we had to keep our prices very, very low for a long time coming out of the recession because people just couldn't afford it. They just didn't have the cash flow, right? And so back then, if you would have like raised your prices, it was like you were going to get crucified by your member base. So you had to be very tactful about it. But what's funny now is like everybody's dealing with inflation, and like they're not just seeing inflation with their gym membership with you. They're going to see inflation with the next car they buy is going to cost them 30% more. Groceries have gone up nearly double, right? So like they're not really that worried about paying $30 more about their gym membership. If they can afford to pay what they're paying now, they can afford to pay $30 more a month. And really, honestly, like for the few people that it might be a financial concern, you can address that with them one-on-one and handle that in a way where, they could stick around and you can make it work for them. But most people are not going to have an issue. So now that I've explained to you why you need to do this and given you the confidence to do this, here's how we do this, right? So, if you want to increase membership rates 8%, which say you're a gym that does, I don't know, we'll just do some quick math here with my calculator. Say you're on the low side and you're doing $15,000 a month in revenue. And you get 12 months a year of that revenue. That's $180,000 in revenue that you're doing, right? Now, if you were to just switch your billing from a monthly to a 4-week billing cycle, what that's going to do is that's going to add an additional billing cycle on for the entire year. You're actually going to end up billing them 13 times in a year versus 12 because you're going every 4 weeks instead of every month. And that's because like you're basically shortening the cycle of each cycle 2 or 3 days, which at the end of the year adds up to an extra entire billing cycle, right? So an extra billing cycle is 8% of the year, right? So, an extra month is an additional 8% in billed revenue per year. So if we multiply $180,000 in revenue, if you're doing $15K per month, times 1.08, which is 8%, you're going to now be netting $194,400. And if we take away what we are already going to get, that means we netted an extra $14,400 for that year. Now, the average gym owner doing just $15K per year probably isn't making more than say if your average revenue per month is $15,000 per month, your overheads are probably at least half that, right? That's if you're doing all the work. If you have some hires, you're probably not making very much money at all. But let's just say, out of your $15,000, your overhead cost is $11,000 of that, between rent and overheads and utilities and payroll and paying a few people to help and whatever like your utility costs are and things like that. That means you're making, for to do $15,000 minus your $11,000 in overheads, that's $4,000 over a year. That's $48K, right? If we add on that additional $14,000 in revenue, 14.4. You're now making $62,000, right? So you go going from below, what is considered middle class income to actually just above it, right? Running your gym. Now the ultimate goal is to get yourself out of that situation where you're making six figures and multiple six figures per year, which we have gyms doing all the time inside our program. But it is making small adjustments like this, right? Of just adjusting it, right? So, this is a very clever way to adjust billing. Now, could you do this and also raise the monthly billing rate? You absolutely could. In fact, that's what I recommend doing. Is like if you're going to make a price adjustment, you want to rip the Band-Aid off fast, right? Just rip it off fast, get it all done at once, right? If you're going to adjust prices, say you're going to go from, $150 a month times 12 months, which is going to net you $1,800 per client, and you're going to go up to $180 a month, and you're going to go to 13 billing cycles by adjusting this, you're going to bump the average client value annually $500 per year, which if you have, let's say $500 per year, say you have, 100 clients. 100 clients, am I right in that? 100 clients times 500 clients per year. Yeah, that's $50,000 in additional revenue that you're going to net from your client base by making this adjustment, right? Of increasing prices and also adjusting your billing cycles at the same time. Because really, honestly, it's it's like I said, ripping a Band-Aid off, right? It's the same amount of pain, really. It's just, do you want to do it quickly or do you want to prolong it, right? If you prolong it by doing a billing cycle adjustment now, but you're still kind of underpriced for your market, and then you go adjust again, now you're setting yourself up to piss more people off, right? You're going to make more people mad by doing that, right? So ideally what you do is you sit down and you draw out what you actually need to price your business at, right? Now, we've actually created a calculator for that here at Big Little Gyms that our clients get access to, that what you want to do effectively is, if I go in here, let's find our pricing calculator. We have our pricing calculator here, which you can visit at tools.biglittlegyms.com/member-pricing and put all your actual data in here, right? And so say your goal is to make $100,000 a year, which is $8,334, and you have your goal is to get to 150 members. You're going to want to put your actual goal monthly members here, not your current. You could put your current in here, but you're trying to foreshadow what you should price your membership at if you're at capacity and hit your goals, right? So 150 members. Say you want to add an additional 10% profit margin that the business keeps in its operating account outside of what you're being paid. The number of classes covered by coaches, the average trainer wage, all your overheads, you put them all in here, what your rent, utilities, insurance costs, subscription, all these things are. And down here it's going to say, based on your overheads and what you want your profit and pay to be, you need to price your membership at $198.50. This is, of course, based on the numbers that are in here by default. You should put your gym's numbers in here, and you should include things like, what are your forward advertising costs? What are your debt repayments? What are some other forward payroll costs you're going down? You're thinking of forward costs here, not what it costs you to do business to do now. And that's the reason why is if you were to base your pricing and your margins off what your overheads are now, you're going to trap yourself and underprice yourself, because when you first start a business and it's just you and rent, it's very easy to be like, oh, great, we have 70% profit margins. We don't have to price it very, very high, right? But when you start adding on the other costs of doing business that every business in almost all of eternity has ever had to have at scale, which is employees and utilities and subscriptions and other costs and software and marketing costs and advertising, you're going to squeeze out your profits really, really quick. So you have to base things off of forward budgets, right? That's what a good part of any real business plan is, actually doing the math like this, right? So pricing letter. What do we do when we want to raise our prices? How do we let our customers know? So here's a letter here that I'll put a link for below our video that you can click and go to and download the letter and have it for yourself and edit it if you want. But what it does, it has the headline in here, and it really takes a positive spin on this, because really it is a positive spin, right? At the end of the day, the reason why you're adjusting pricing to be profitable in your business is so you have money to reinvest in the business, and of course to pay yourself, but you're part of the reinvestment into the business. If you're not being taken care of, if you're not putting the oxygen mask on yourself first, you're not going to be able to save anybody else, right? So you being able to take a fair paycheck at some point in your business is very, very important to the long-term benefits of the business. So I will tell you, I have seen a lot of gym owners burn out in year 3 and year 4 and close up shop when their initial lease ends, because they're like, yeah, this isn't working out, and I'm not as passionate about it as I used to be. Because really, that passion engine will only burn for that first 2 to 3 years for most people. but it'll keep burning strong if you're having success doing it. If you're getting a sense of completion out of it and you're winning, you're going to want to keep doing it even more and get better. But if you don't get success, you're going to go and look for something else to do, because you're going to more or less be getting this signal from your surroundings that like maybe you're not cut out to do this. And so you're going to pack it up and you're going to close up shop. So like that's the first thing. When you craft these letters, understand that like you're not trying to justify anything, right? Like at the end of the day, like you are part of running this business, and the business needs to make money. And no one that does business with you should have a problem with you making money in your business, right? Like you are a for-profit business. If they want to go to a nonprofit, they can go to the YMCA and they can deal with what the product and service is like there at the YMCA. If they're going to do business with you and your business, which is a premium offering, I hope. And if you don't believe it's a premium offering, then you need to come work with us here at Big Little Gym so we can help you craft a premium offering. So that way you can make profit, make money, be successful, and help them be more successful. Because at the end of the day, like people want to do business with the people they look up to. They don't want to do business with people that are barely getting by. It's kind of a sad thing to give money to someone because like they basically need it to like keep the business open, and you kind of feel like you're taking advantage of the person. What you really want to do is business with the person that's like profitable and making money and successful and like reinvesting in their business and reinvesting in you as a customer. Like those are the people you want to do business with. So anyways, a letter here, it's important you come from that angle. And so the headline is enhancing your experiences, changes to our billing cycle, and our continued commitment to you. And the body here, of course, we're addressing them by their name. I hope this message finds you well at our gym name. You're going to want to input this here. Our primary commitment is to ensure that you have the finest fitness experience. As the world and market conditions evolve, so must we in our pursuit of continually offering the best, right? So it's reminding them that this isn't something that you're just choosing to do, that this is something that like the market conditions are evolving and you're affected by it too. So without going that deep into it, you're saying that and reminding them of that this is not something that's unique to your business. You're going to say starting on X date, 2 billing cycles from now, and that's what I recommend doing, is giving like a 60, 90 day window. One of the worst ways you can do this is to say, hey guys, next month we're going to change your billing. Like that gives them no recourse, right? And like if people feel like they don't have recourse, they're going to make recourse, right? And really most people aren't going to take the recourse of like canceling if you give them 2 or 3 months. They're going to say, oh great, thanks. Like we know you have to make this adjustment. We appreciate you more or less like packing it in for us for a couple more months and letting us stay where we're at so we can make the adjustment too, right? And for most people, they're just going to forget about it, right? And you want to let them know you're going to be transitioning from your monthly current billing cycle as a standard 28-day billing cycle for all members on month-to-month membership agreements. Here's what this means for you and how it aligns with our commitment. And it's going to basically say, like, why are we adjusting to a 28-day billing cycle? It ensures a standardized billing interval versus someone's having 31, some having 28. And you say, while your billing rate per cycle remains the same, this is the new system means you'll be billed once every 28 days. Staying ahead of market conditions, letting them know that you are doing this as a proactive measure to stay ahead of inflationary market conditions and our way of securing longevity and quality of services to our valued members, which is 100% true, I'd hope, with your business, right? No one wants to feel like it's just a cash grab. So let them know this is not just a cash grab. Like, and if it is, it's in the honor of growing your business. Strengthening our services and facilities, this transition to our billing cycle will enable us to enhance our staffing, upgrade equipment, maintain facilities, and expand our community reach through advertising. Let them know that, hey, you will be spending this money on growing the community, right? Like it will be reinvested. Term contracts, members on 6 and 12-month memberships. If you have people on term memberships, of course, like let them finish out their term membership. Don't, it's kind of not cool if they're on a term agreement for you to say, like, we're going to, adjust your term agreement halfway through the agreement, right? They signed a contract, then honor that contract, right? And then we're here for you, and then say change can bring questions and concerns. We're here to address them, whether it's through this email or chat at our front desk. We're always available. And just explain them a little bit about how you got here. When we began, gym name, the market conditions were different. Over time, things have shifted to a great degree. Part of our responsibility, and indeed our commitment to you, is to ensure that we adapt and thrive amidst changing tides, ensuring you always receive the best service we have to offer. We greatly appreciate your support. Understand that your trust, well-being, and satisfaction are paramount to us. Together, we navigate these ever-changing times and evolving landscape of fitness together, right? It's more or less saying this is something we're doing together, and we appreciate your support. Being very assumptive in their support, right? Which is like, people generally, when you speak to them assumptively, will also assume that position in the conversation. So you're letting them know, like, hey, this is important, right? And then what I like to do is, when I sign off here at the bottom, put a little PS, and this is for the couple people that might actually be in a financial position, which, like I said, most people paying $200, $150 a month, or $100 a month for group fitness. If they genuinely are in a financial hardship, they probably need to cancel their membership and save that money or put it towards something else. If they literally can't pay to put food on their table, then like let them go, right? Because like, you know, the truth is for the most part, they usually aren't having that, right? They might want you to stay at the same price just because they'd rather, you know, them keep that money than you have it for your services. But at the end of the day, like, that's why I'll say to people, hey, if this is genuinely going to create a financial hardship for you and you can't put food on your table, then I would like for you to come talk to me and we'll find a way to make this work out, right? And that's the honest truth, right? Nobody's probably sacrificing feeding their kids to come to your gym, right? At least, you know, not that I can think of, right? So say something along those lines of like, we recognize and respect the diverse financial backgrounds of our members. If this changes poses any financial hardship, please reach out. It's imperative to us that you remain an active part of our community. We are committed to working with you to find a suitable solution. Now, what you do is you do not put this in a public place and you do not address it in public places. What you do is you send this out in a bulk email blast using a system like our tool, Gymnetics. Gymnetics allows you to basically bulk message blast all your existing members. And so it goes into their email boxes individually and they will respond to you individually. And then one by one, you can approach these conversations with care as needed. Now, what you're going to find out is 98% of people are not going to have an issue. You're going to have probably a handful of people that maybe have questions or concerns. There might even be people that like maybe signed up with you at the beginning that said, hey, you promised me a lifetime rate. And you'd say, hey, I totally understand that, but our situation has changed and I cannot honor that rate anymore going further. You know, we would love to, but we literally cannot do business going that way. We'd love your continued support, but if you don't feel that, you know, we've earned that, then I totally understand you having to do business elsewhere, right? You're kind of passing the guilt back onto them because at the end of the day, like, you should not have made that promise to honor a lifetime membership rate at an underpriced cost, right? If you choose to do that, you can do that. Don't recommend do that. It's really up to you. It's your business. I'm just here to give you, you know, practical advice, right, that you can use in running and growing your business. So that's it, guys. If you are a gym owner and you're looking to grow your gym, get more traffic, turn more of that traffic into more leads, turn more of those leads into booked appointments, filling out your schedule in the next week ahead for people that are ready to come down and join your gym, high quality intent-based customers, and growing your customer base, then go to biglittlegyms.com. When you get there, you can click the Get Started button and fill out some basic information. We'll answer your questions and, of course, offer you an opportunity to book a discovery call where we will meet, chat about your current situation, your desired situation, what you're doing now, and show you how we can help you get to the next level. biglittlegyms.com. Have a great day, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.